Hello you goats and welcome back to the YouTube. Today we will go through the new leaked and confirmed ratings and player stats part 2. We will start off with the downgrades. Number 1 on the list comes Jamie Vardy, who gets a -7 rating. Gets himself a -8 pace and -5 shooting. A very sad end of an era. Next, we go Raheem Sterling, gets himself a -3 and loses half a leg by losing 6 pace. Sancho gets himself a -2 and loses 3 pace from FIFA 23. Poor Sancho is having a rough patch at Manchester United. A very surprising downgrade, Mohamed Salah. He got 30 goals and 16 assists last season. And EA Sports still give him a downgrade somehow. That is EA logic, boys and girls. We move to Richardson. The pigeon himself gets a -1 rating and loses a leg in the process by getting a -5 in pace. Probably deserved, as he's been in shambles for Tottenham. We move to Pogba. Mr. Steroid User gets himself a -3 rating and becomes a 82 rated card. He may get himself a rule breaker card right in the beginning of EAFC 24 for being a naughty boy. N'Golo Kanté gets himself a -3 rating as he moves to the Saudi League to play with Benzema. Drops under 70 pace and lost 5 physical stats. Sadio Mane gets a -3 rating and runs with crutches in the new FIFA. Gets a -5 pace in the process. Kimpembe gets himself a -1, but I still think he will be very overpowered. Aubameyang, once upon a time one of the fastest players in FIFA, now has gotten a -5 rating and a -5 pace stat, making it 82 pace on the card. We will now be moving on to some upgrades and we'll start off with Saliba. Gets himself a +3 ratings and a +4 pace and defense attribute. His teammate Bukayo Saka gets himself a nice and deserved +4 upgrade. Gets himself a +7 shooting stat and a +4 dribble stat. Rodrigo gets himself a +4 rating, with a +5 shooting attribute. Only sad thing about this card is that EA did not give this man 5-star skills. Pretty shocking in my eyes. Mr. Renato Sanchez, the most used and overpowered midfield card in every FIFA game for some reason, is back. Overall great card, and I'm sure he will be in many people's teams once again. Osimhen gets a well-deserved +5 upgrade and becomes one of the best strikers in the game. His duo partner at Napoli, the one and only Georgian Kvaradona, gets himself one of the biggest upgrades in EAFC 24 with a +12 card. Most impressive thing about this card is that it has 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot. Deserved? I think so. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. We move on to Rashford with a +4 rating. Gets himself a bit more pace with a +3 and +4 shooting, getting himself 17 goals in the Premier League last season. Next we got Nkunku, stays at the same rating of 86, but ends up losing a leg in the process by losing 6 pace stat. One of the most impressive upgrades goes to Musiala with a +5 rating, +10 pace stat and +5 dribbling stat. This card will definitely be very nice to use and will make others smash their controllers. Ferland Mendy somehow always becomes the most overpowered and expensive left back in the game. Martinelli gets himself a might +6 rating with +6 dribbling. Finally becomes a usable card in the game. We got Theo Hernandez and Bacha both being one of the best left backs in the game. Who would you choose and why? We move to one of the best center back partnerships, Count and Araujo. Both cards look very overpowered and I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Question before we move on, does Araujo deserve more than 79 pace? Leave a comment below. Next we got Kolo Muani and Dembele, both getting upgrades from previous FIFA 23. Both cards looking very good, and I'm sure will be very expensive. Moving on to Kim Min-jae, get himself a +5 rating and becomes a meta center back in game. Then we move on to the 3 Saudi League beasts, Allan Saint-Maximin, Ibanez, and Kessie. These 3 will be in many starter squads, maybe even in mine. Thoughts? Moving on to Saint Just, becoming the fastest center back with 93 pace. We usually don't see center backs with that type of pace, will be very interesting. Joelinton from getting put into SBCs to now my starting 11. Gets himself a +7 rating and becomes a very usable card. I'm sure many will have him as their starting midfielder in their starter squads. The Swedish striker Isak gets himself a +1 rating. I truly believe he should have gotten a bigger upgrade. Let me know what you guys think below. The Bullet himself, Diaby, moving to the Premier League, stays at 84 rating and gets a +2 pace stat, just to give him a little more of a boost. We got De Ligt getting a +1 rated card, but gets a massive -9 pace. EA is actually delusional for this one and rated his pace with their eyes closed. Thoughts? Next we got ourselves another brain-dead EA move, making Schick a 83 rated card, with not one stat being over 83. And rating Korea a 82, with 3 stats higher than 82. Someone please explain to me how Korea isn't higher rated and Schick lower. I'd gladly appreciate an explanation in the comments section. Anthony, Mr. Fidget Spinner, gets himself a -1 rating and was too busy focusing on doing 360s instead of running, gets a -10 pace stat. Not surprising, as he's been having a rough time at Manchester United. We finish off player ratings part 2 with Adeyemi, getting himself a +5 rated card and a +3 pace stat to bring it to 96 pace. He becomes the second fastest card in EAFC 24 after Mbappe's 97 pace card. Thanks for sticking around for part 1 of EAFC 24 player ratings. Comment CR7 if you stayed all the way to the end. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. See you in the next one.